guys, and well, everybody used marshmallows and toothpicks, and this was it was Miguel, so it's the he's got experience in that area. So on day 4, we spoke about Christ on the cross, and it was based on John 19:16, 16 through 18. And this part speaks about after when Jesus is sentenced, then he is given a cross to carry, and he is crucified along with 2 other men beside him. But in difference, those 2 men were criminals, and Jesus was guilty free. But since we talk about how, or he was completely guilty. I mean, and he carried everyone's sins there, and because of that sacrifice he made, we're able to pray to our God and have a communication with him 24/7. On the last day, the topic. Oh yeah, and we made those little crosses, and we just put some stickers on, and yeah, that was it. And on the last day, the topic was consummation, which means to make complete. And we read the description on Revelation 21:6 through 7, where God's New Jerusalem settles, and it speaks about God being with his people forever. And this represents completion, all the way from the book of Genesis, where everything is created, this heaven and this earth, but now a new heaven and a new earth will complete everything. And because of that, we made some little bracelets, and we took the verses 6 through 7, where it says, Jesus says, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. And so these bracelets represent that. It's a never-ending love from our God. Yeah. That's it.
All right. Oh, yeah, I do. All right. That was the that was the science and crafts. And the next we sing a song first. We have 2 songs. We have 2 songs. I'm reading the script here now. Okay, let's stand up. And we're going to sing, I Sing the Mighty Power.
You're watching Live 3 Kids. There's no greater power than the power of our God. There's no greater power than the power of our God. I sing the mighty power of God that made the mountains rise, that spread the flowing seas abroad.
And, oh, well, now you're going to have to at least stand up. I want to ask Pam, Trevor, and Gus. Gus, boy, he was brutal on that water, the Rainforest Games. Gus, okay. They're going to talk about their games. So the people out
Wherever can hear me, right? Yes, the bags is first. So I had a great time with your kids. Thank you very much, because we truly enjoyed ourselves, and this was an effort together as a church. And everybody made this possible. Everybody. So our jungle journey, our first day, and in Bible games, we work on working together as a church. Although it's a lot of fun putting these games together and getting wet because it's hot outside, it's a learning experience. These kids are going to be our church's future. So this week we were working together and building up our future leaders. So our first day was about creation. So to start with, we created, my helpers and I, an obstacle course. So not a difficult one. And this, our Lion of Judah, was our main guy. And also we had, I almost forgot about this guy, like the coolest 7-foot pony, or 10-foot, something like that. So I saved the box because actually, and Randy, you were correct, it's in the book of Job, there is a horned horse in the Bible. So how cool is that? Now, yes, he's not as colorful as this, but this guy was cool. So it's also a sprinkler. So they had to, go ahead and go in the middle and put them on. We had an obstacle course. It wasn't very big. And we also had some pools. The kids had to run through some obstacles. And then when they got to the end of the obstacle, they were to hand their crew leader their bag. Go. And then they had to dive through the pools. Okay. Wow, that's a little much. But okay, so our Bible scripture was Genesis 1 through 8. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but we were talking about what God created in the very beginning. And I reminded the kids in 1 Corinthians 9, 24 to 25, do you not know all the runners run, but only one gets the prize. Everyone who completes the games goes into the strict training. They do it to get the crown that will not last, but we do it to get the crown that will last forever. So we are training up our youth. Well, day 2 we had about corruption and catastrophe. So I explained to the kids, corruption is dishonest behavior that affects everybody. Everybody. And catastrophe is the worst disaster you can have that will not, I mean, it's decimated. Everything's gone. So in Genesis 3, 6 through 7, the woman saw the fruit was good and good for food, desirable, gave it to her husband, and there you go. That's all she wrote. So, we had a serpent sprinkler because he was the one that gave her the idea. So this guy was cool. Didn't stand up as well as I hoped, but I'll get it figured out by next year. So the serpent sprinkler sprayed a little bit of everywhere. So what we did is we started with a tarp, and it was very soapy, so if your kids were clean that night, you're welcome. So, very soapy with no tear shampoos and baby bath. So Each team had to take a side to the rope and do a tug of war and work together to get either side across the tarp. They had to go under the serpent and pull them into the pool behind them. They worked really good at that, I gotta say. That was really cool. So, and all of them, it was so cute watching the babies do this. Oh my goodness, I can't even tell you. I was very happy to have all the babies going from each station, except the one station, of course, for the story time, because they enjoyed each, and they were very well behaved. So, let's see. As a church or a family, we, in our homes or in our church, we have to be ready for what lies ahead and know that the enemy is going to start working on you. The minute you start serving God, he's working on you because he has everybody else. But he wants those serving the Lord. So to avoid corruption and catastrophe, we will not be deceived if we know his word and we work together. So, okay, day 3. Sorry, I'm trying to run this long. Confusion. To not think as clearly or as quickly as you normally do. And here in Genesis 4, 1 through 10, we were talking about Cain and Abel. We were also talking about anger is actually a second emotion. It doesn't just happen. You're angry because you're jealous. You're angry because you're mad that somebody hurt your feelings. You're angry because you want something that someone lied to you. You want something someone else has. But anger doesn't just happen. It happens for a reason. So the story of Cain and Abel, where Cain killed Abel, this is the second sin in the Bible that was a real bummer. You know, first Eve eats the apple, now she got 2 kids, and boom, one of them kills her brother out of jealousy. Jealousy drove Cain to kill Abel, so that drove him to anger. So we were talking about not letting these things drive you angry, and confusion is one of them that can drive you to anger. So we had a little potato sack race. We had a big pool set up. I don't have the box out here, sorry. But it was a big pool. Of course, little pools for the little guys, because we didn't want anyone drowning. And each kid had one of these little rackets, and they had to keep it going around the pool to each other like a hot potato. And when the whistle blew, they had to stop what they were doing. We had ringlets in the bottom of the pool. They had to give a ringlet, throw it out to one of my little devilish duos here so we could keep track. And then they went right back to that. The whole point was confusing them. Confusing them while they're going around. I said, you guys got to think. When the devil creeps up on you, he's not going to give you a minute to think. You have to think. So we were doing a lot of switching from one extreme to another. First it was a hot potato, then it was a hot potato, and I sounded like a drill sergeant, so it was interesting. So then on day 4, we had Christ in the cross. You guys want to, don't hit anybody with it, though. We won't carry it to the center, but each of your children got an opportunity to carry the cross. Even the little guys. Oh, it was so cute. They tried so hard. So, and it's pretty heavy. Our reading kind of fell behind Custodios and Milkus about Jesus arose. Both Marys went to the tomb. An angel was there, moved the rock, and showed that he arose. But it's what that happened before that that means so much to us. Our forgiveness of our sins. The cross that was carried, the people spitting on Christ, throwing stones and everything else at him. Wow, it wasn't like he got to just carry his cross to where they were crucifying him. He was humiliated and he was treated terribly, and the man did nothing wrong. He came here to show us kindness and how to love each other. So after our cross, we went to the rope pool, or excuse me, obstacle course. Okay, the obstacle course that we had of object of pulling the cross was to show the kids what he went through. Then we had the parachute, where we had a sprinkler going. We had a simple tarp. Again, thank you if your kids smelled clean, because they had the baby soap on it. The kids had the parachute. They had water balloons on it. And the sprinkler and the water balloons were to represent people spitting on Jesus, but they didn't have to get spit on. So the object was to see how many water balloons you can get on the other person. So not only did they get to carry the cross, of course, we're not going to let them spit on each other, but the water represented, and that was a lot of water, because I'm sure it was a lot of haters on the Lord. So, okay, so that was day 4. Last one, consummation. And as Custodio said, from beginning to end, I told the kids it means complete. So this race was a lot harder. This was a longer race, because now we have went through the whole week learning how to work together. And at the end of the race was the weights of justice. Our reading was Revelation 21, 22 to 27. Don't worry, nobody got beat up. Okay, so I did not see a temple in the city. The Lord and the Lamb are the temple. And then, of course, we read through that. But today's Bible game was about the stands of justice. And in 2 Timothy 4, 7 through 9, I have fought the good fight. I finished the race. I have kept the faith. Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which is from the Lord. So what they had to do is, yes, at the end of the race, once they completed, again, they had their potato sacks on. The race was longer. We had longer markers. They had to make complete circles around each marker. Oh, you should see them. They were sweating. They were sweating because it was further, it was longer. And I explained to them, serving the Lord, it does take a while. And sometimes you don't want to get up and do it because you're tired or you just don't want to. You know, your flesh says do something else, like stay home and relax. But yet, we're here for a purpose. So by the time they got done, again, they left their bags. They went through 2 pools, slid through 1 tarp, and then they went to the scales of justice. First one through got to wrestle with the second one. And I reminded them, the devil's going to knock them down a few times. He's not going to be kind. Oh, yes. And our babies, because they were little guys, and they kind of like the whole potato sack covered their whole body past their head. So we had little wheelbarrows for them to go around the obstacle course. So, yeah. And then we also had on the day of confusion, because some didn't want to get wet, so they got to make some beautiful bubbles by mowing the church lawn. So, no, don't let it leak. But I had a great time with the kids, and I'm so grateful to be part of this family. And just everybody worked together so well for these babies, and thank you. I'm sorry it took so long.
Yay! All right. Yes. Wow. Yeah, a lot of people were involved in this. Well, kids, if you'll stand up, we'll sing one more song. Yeah. as they're trying to get that video up so they can watch that. Marcia, for her class, she failed to mention that Madeline and Sean were helpers for her, and she appreciated that. Still dark here, yeah? Oh, we do have it. All right. This is the most important song.
Hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. And I love that old cross where the dearest and best for a world of lost sinners was slain. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. And I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. And I love that old cross where the dearest and best for a world of lost sinners was slain. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. And I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. And I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown.
We remember what Christ did for us, made the way. Amen. Okay, kids, if you'll find your seats with your groups, get with your crew leaders. Yeah. Well, not exactly. All right. I wanted to recognize, we're going to give out some pictures to the kids of their, and recognize some of the, as many folks as I can call out that helped out on this. Oh, Esmari's already doing that, so I don't have to call them out. So, Esmari handled all the registration right here. And she had quite a bit of really helping kind of head out a lot of things. And I want, Esmari, I want you to continue to stand. I'm going to ask everybody I mentioned, I want you to stand up. We'll all remain standing. I want to ask Sarah E. as crew captain to stand up wherever you are. There you are. Remain standing. She assigned children to the crews. The food staff, Are they in here? I don't know. If Norma, Narda, Lupita, Lupana, Rachel, any of you are in here, remain standing. Everybody, keep standing. There you go. Pictures. Brother Martin, would you stand up, bro? Oh, you are standing up. Okay. And there you go. And Martin, he's check out the Facebook COG7 Fort Smith Facebook page. Martin's been putting a lot of pictures on there. It's really great. And Brother Israel, who's standing up at the back in the sound booth right now. He had so much to do. Israel also pulled songs and set them up so we could have the singing. And Trevor had triple duty. I don't know where, is he still around? Trevor, oh, there you are. You're standing up. All right. He ran the songs for us each night. He got soaking wet out there and all that. It was wonderful. And the decorations, Israel and George had a lot to do with that. If you'd stand up. And there were plenty of other people. If you had a part in this, and Madeline, I didn't get you, you need to stand up. You were, any of you helpers and all you staff, the crew leaders, stand up. Yeah, everybody, stand up. So we had a lot of people involved, didn't we? Yeah. And the kids got anybody who helped with decorations. Yeah. I tell you, I'm Brother Gonzalo. Yes. Okay. So there we go. So a lot of people. Eric, yeah, well, Juan, you know, because you guys spent days out here, yes. Marcia and I kind of came in at the last minute, but we worked hard when we did it. Let me see then. Esmari gave out pictures to the team leaders here. So, and the team leaders, crew leaders. Well, they already have their pictures. Okay, well, Kareem and Alexa, if you'll come up. I'm not sure. And, okay, then would you tell us who your crew was then, or who's in your team?
Okay. So the people who were in our toddler class was Philip. Philip, you want to come and get your picture? Okay, here you go. Saudi, get it, Saudi. Oh, no. Another member of our group was Elian. What's your picture? Okay. And someone else was Yadi. Here you go.
And me? Next we have Saudi. Here. I think her name's pronounced Emery. I forgot. I'm sorry, but her pictures are right here.
There we go. And then Charlene, if you'll, you don't need this. Oh, okay, yeah.
Who are you guys?
The giant otter.
We were the Giant Otters, and we had Genesis, Vanya, and Liana.
All right. And then next, Abigail and the Dragonflies.
So this is only 3 of my group. I had like a couple more, but first we have Kayla. So here you go. Then we have Kendra, and then we have Adi.
Very good. All right, thank you. Well, let's see now. I'm jumping back a little. Let's do the leopards. Eric, you want to take care of that? The leopards. I asked him what his name was, and first I thought he said lepers without the D, and I thought, no, that's not a good name.
So everybody was great, no doubt about it. But I'm very partial to my crew, and so we had Panchito, and I had Leonardo, and I had my grandson Tony, and we also had Jacob, and he's not here today. Neither one of them are, but they were great. They were tenacious. They were they really put a lot into every group we went to, and I was very proud of them.
All right. Very good. And then, Brother Paco, if you'll come up with your army ants.
I have four in my group. And the fourth one, Santiago, Dustin, and Anthony.
All right. Let's hear it for the army ants. Okay. Well, the Yesenia had the capybaras. Capybaras, that's the largest rodent there is, but it's an interesting animal. And she has some interesting animals here, I can see, yes.
All right, so the members that I had in my group were Marjorie and Jemima was also here, but she's not here today, and Zoe. There you go. And Melania. And Grecia. And Camila.
All right. Let's see, who's behind them? Looks like the monkeys. All right. Jessica, if you'll come up and hand out for the monkeys. Yay, monkeys. All right.
Thank you. I will say my crew was the best. We have a really good time. I enjoy having these girls with me. They were enthusiastic. They were participating, and we learned a lot this week. So I have Hanan. I have Allison. I have Kayla. And we also were very grateful because we have a guest the whole week. And it was a friend of Allison, and her name is Sophia. She couldn't be here, but we really enjoy having her. So we had a good week.
All right, for the monkeys. And the last group, not the least, is Brother Custodio and the Sun Bears. All right, if you'll come on up, Sun Bears.
Paz a vosotros, hermanos. We have 6 kids. So we got Dylan, Tristan, Jonathan, Marcos, Andres, and Jeremy.
All right, let's hear it for the Sun Bears. All right. And we're going to have these slides and pictures now. Follow that with prayer and prayer for the meal and take up prayer requests after this.
There's no greater power than the power of our God. I sing the mighty power of God that made the mountains rise, that spread the flowing seas abroad and built the lofty skies. I sing the wisdom that designed the sun to rule the day. The moon shines so that His command and all the stars obey. There's no greater power than the power of our God. There's no greater power than the power of our God. I sing the mighty power of God that made the mountains rise, that spread the flowing seas abroad and built the lofty skies. I sing the wisdom that designed the sun to rule the day. The moon shines so that His command and all the stars obey. There's no greater power than the power of our God. There's no greater power than the power of our God. There's no greater power than the power of our God. There's no greater power than the power of our God. There's no greater power than the power of our God. There's no greater power than the power of our God. There's no greater power than the power of our God. I sing the mighty power of God that made the mountains rise, that spread the flowing seas abroad and built the lofty skies. I sing the wisdom that designed the sun to rule the day. The moon shines so that His command and all the stars obey. There's no greater power than the power of our God. There's no greater power than the power of our God. I sing the mighty power of God that made the mountains rise, that spread the flowing seas abroad and built the lofty skies. I sing the wisdom that designed the sun to rule the day. The moon shines so that His command and
Yeah. Wow.
there's no
Greater power than the power of our God. Yeah. Boy, I'm going to do that in my sleep for a while, I think. Okay, we're going to take up prayer requests, and Brother Eric has agreed to do that. Again, we have a lot of people here, so I'd like you to limit your prayer request time to 1 or 2 minutes. And if we'll, the ushers that get the microphones, we have some on either side if you'd help out. Oh, is it? I don't know.
Here.
Yeah, I should. Yeah. Hello? No?
No.
Okay.
I
Here,
wondered.
take that.
All right,
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
that was here this week, did you wake up in the morning with songs in your head? Yeah. I mean, I think that's pretty awesome to wake up that way. So, does anybody have a prayer request? Something special they want to lift up? Anything? Or even a praise? Pastor Don isn't here today, and I noticed, but let's lift him up in prayer. Continue to keep him in prayer daily. He's very important to us. He's our spiritual leader, and we need to look after him best we can. Yes.
Pasa a vosotros, hermanos. Pido de sus oraciones por por mi tío Gustavo, muchos.